Hello, the game has started and it's me to go first. I have a pretty balanced rack. It looks very close to a bingo. Is there a bingo here? Gallow pin, but not gallow pen. Wow, just not seeing a 7 here, but I think there might well be one. I'm going to go with plong 22. Not bad, but the W and P don't go fantastically together as far as bingos are concerned. I'll be looking to get rid of the W, P and O potentially. I think plong actually takes a D, as strange as it might sound. So maybe something like daup, but look at the rack leave. That's no good. Wiped. Opponent's play of nigh. Wiped. I wonder. Oh, 1 square 2. What about wide? Wade. 21. Waddy. 20. Yeah, I'll go with this. Not a bad pickup, but the W and B not particularly bingo-y. Open web, not a thing. Open source software, but not open web software. Ivy takes a T. Don't have one of those. The V offering some score potential through the double word square, but nothing going there. Don't have a 6-letter play ending in an E or O. Maybe just web. I know it gives back easy score to opponent, but it sorts the rack out, gets rid of W and B. And I like the rack leave. It's not terrible. That's really nice. Persona. Hopefully that'll play somewhere. Persona takes an E, I believe, and personnel. So I do have a bingo from E1 down onto the L. Opponent bingos as well. Personae. For 72. not a good pickup. I have toit, tutti I'm not quite sure of, but I should be able to get rid of a few vowels with iota, for example. That's 3 vowels gone. Iota. Doesn't really play well underneath personae. Now iota doesn't work there either. Tote doesn't work. Toia does work. So I'll go ahead and pop that down. Gets rid of 3 vowels. Yep. Okay, gooeyest. That's quite nice. From 4M down. The D, also a potential. Thud. Doogiest, not a thing. Gooeyest doesn't play underneath personae. I thought it might. But I do have... what about stoogie? No, stoogie can't be spelled like that. So it'll have to be stoogie. What am I mixing that up with? Gooeyest. Avenged. Yeah, I think I'll just... gooeyest for 64. This isn't a bad rack. Opponent whacks jammy down very quickly. Looking at this rack here, deif is good. Deifies, but not deifist. Edifies, but not edifist. Now, what about the IEST ending? Fidgiest, maybe? Got the F here. So I've got if or sif. Imp takes an I, so I could actually play fid here. Fide, not fide. Fid. 30, that's not bad, and it's pretty safe. Look at the rack leave. That is really strong. IEST combines well with the D. I think I'm going with this, unless, let me just contemplate the C here. I have the dis prefix, I didn't consider that. But the F a little bit unflexible. Disinfect through an N and a C, not just a C. So, yeah, I think I'll go with fid for 30. Wow, I draw the Z, and the Z and the F together, not likely to be bingoing. Physiest is the only one that I can think of, but not quite there. The D not overly helpful. Now, any Z hotspots? Zoist, that's not bad. 42 points. Opponent's play of turnip hasn't really provided much for me as far as, well, Zen wouldn't be bad. 32, pretty safe. No front hooks for Zen. Opponent could play on to the Z, but then he'd be exposing the triple word square. 32, that'd be a candidate play. 42 for Zoist. Fosey, I don't think Fosey can be spelt maybe. No, just F-O-Z-Y, I think. Now, the F still playable here because I've picked up the second F. Now, F is good. Is this dangerous or... Well, it is because there are a lot of A's to come. 31. Don't need to introduce that level of volatility. I'm liking Zen. Zoist, good score, but there is a blank and a lot of bingo-y tiles to come. Could play Soz, killing this lane as a bingo lane, but is that really, does it have much strategic merit? I don't know. 32. I'd have a 50-point lead if I did that. No, I think Zen. 32. Fetials, priests of ancient Rome. That does not currently play, does it? Oh, it does. Look at that. F-E-T-I-A-L-S. Fantastic. Now, does the D combine with fetials to form a 8? I don't think disflate is a word. And IES Delphius, no. So I'll go with fetials. And then I've got the K for score. I've got AUK for 23. The K not useful really as a floater for an 8-letter word ending in K. Oh, I've got EEK as well. But I don't have... Opponent's taken my spot anyway. Time is ticking. ST, I've got nothing that goes after that. I could just plonk the K down. 21, pretty mediocre. What about another hot spot for the K? Core, that's not bad. And it gets rid of one of my duplicate R's. 23, I'll go with this. That's vowel heavy, and there are only few vowels left, so this isn't actually a bad move. Yeah, I'm going with this. I don't mind hanging on to some vowels. Oh, oat is no good, of course. Why did I... So I've got to get something down here pronto. K-O, EEK. I think I'm just going to play EEK to preserve time. 21. Opponent needs a bingo to win. Plays taxi. I'll play tour. And no bingo here, I don't think. Opponent will be looking to create an opening. Alu I have. And I'll probably play that just to, unless opponent creates an open. Oh, he's got close to a bingo apart from the Q. So maybe, unless he plays the Q now, I think I should hang on to the U just in case I draw the Q. Yes, if opponent creates an opening, I think I should just close it down. Ruralite through a T. No T available. Bingo's ending in NY, that would be optimistic. Rurality, no. I have air here, 14, but obviously not going to do that if it provides a bingo opportunity for opponent. His vowel dry, so very unlikely to bingo with this rack. Kindar, without our opponent plays the H. I don't think he can bingo with Q, B, D, and just one vowel. No. So I think Alu scores most, 22. Oh, I think Balu is good with a B. Oh, that was a bit of a mistake. So he's got, has he got a BQ word? Burqa, no. Now, Rory. I don't know about Rory like that. Could just play RE for a score. IRE, ire, and telly. Reza. I have 48 seconds. And opponent looking to maximize score with this Q, I'd say. Qibla, no. Just looking at ways to go out with these remaining 4. Direr, more dire. Is that a thing? Should be. Direr. Rory. Sometimes the sound of a word will come to mind, but the spelling of it not quite convinced, because sometimes there are 2 or 3 ways to spell a word or confuse a word with exactly the same sound. This doesn't look familiar visually, but the sound of the word Rory does sound very familiar. That's why it's worth trying. But yeah, just not sure if this is a thing or not. Bond. Okay, so opponent's looking at playing QIS. So he's actually given me Rider, which he obviously overlooked. He was probably trying a QIS and a Bonds play. Thank my opponent for the game. So 445 to 349. Let's see what we missed. Back to the beginning. No bingo, plong, but pongle better because it keeps just the E rather than the two. But gallop would have been good as well. EN better than AE. Only marginally. Look how close the equity is. So that's all right. Plong. Lavy opponent had from the L. That's a great way to get rid of two V's and a Y when you've got duplicates of both. Opponent went with 9. Now ploughed through the that was nice. Oni. If I'd only seen that. But louped also good, and then dewlap quite nice through that L. But my score of Wadi only 20, so that was kind of suboptimal there. Lavy again, still available. Opponent goes with Ivy. Now bound for 25 is quite nice, leaving EP. Web, where was bound? J2. Bowne there. That's nice. Okay, so second best in that respect. Now opponent's got a number of bingos there. Goes with Avenged. And then I've got Personae for 72, Paraions for 72 as well. Personae, I think, kept the board tighter, didn't give any hooks on the right side of Avenged. And then opponent's got Ammo for 35. Goes with Mole. Now I was vowel heavy, needed to get rid of a few. Oot for 18, keeping 3 vowels. Interesting. Where was Oot? L3. Okay, next to Mole. Toia 20, highest score available. Yeah, still happy with Toia. And then opponent's got Thud. Wow, he had a 37-point play. Huma at 11B. Imp and Vey. That's quite nice. Gee, big score. Goes with Thud for 24. Now I've got Gooiest, the only playable bingo. Opponent plays Jami for 37, or Kami, however it's pronounced. Actually, Jami, the C in Turkish is pronounced as a J, and Cami in Turkish is a mosque, I believe, Jami, or a place of worship. So yeah, I'm wondering if it was adopted from the Turkish language or if it means something completely different. That's why I pronounced it as Jami rather than Kami. But anyway, that's a side note. Look at that. There was a bingo through the C. Deficits, of course. I'm trying to read it, and because the C is separate. Deficits, wow, everyday word. It just shows you when you're sometimes racking your brain for obscure words, you overlook the everyday ones. So that was a shame to have missed deficits. I went with FID, which was kind of up there after the bingo. And opponent's got triunes, Natsia, and he's got Nerdiest playable. Natsia did play at N5. Look at that. Natsia. Beautiful parallel play from N5 down. nuts here. Nerdiest through the D, also kind of hidden. But opponent didn't spot those ones. Went with turnip. And then Zen right down here. Now F and 5. I did contemplate F. I love the rack leave. Very strong. Even if you don't bingo, you're guaranteed to score, around the 35 to 45 mark. So, yeah, I just didn't like the idea of opponent having a strong scoring play in the right there, especially with 2 T's to come and the blank. So I thought, yeah, because of takes the T and the so I just thought, yeah, maybe keep it tight and keep the rack as bingo-y as possible. And I think I still like it. Jeets for 45, big score. Now, opponent did have the T, so he would have... Oh, look at that. He would have had... Oh, well, he would have had Taj or Tajes for like 50 points. So that just shows you that it was best not to create the opening EF in that instance. So 45 for Jeets, nice play. And then Fetils for 75. Happy to have spotted that. Okay, that was a nice rack, but not quite a bingo. Opponent had a 30-point play, which would have brought him, just a marginal bingo behind. Goes with Ochre, which wasn't bad, because there are bingos ending in A, so he's created another lane. Now, Cowra for 27, that I'm not keen on, even though score-wise it probably would have put me out of reach, but why take the risk with a blank unseen and only 27? If it was 37, I would have whacked it down without a thought. But yeah, Cowra, and then Reek, C4. Oh, that's quite nice, getting the K doubled twice. Now that's, I like that a lot. Also takes the Z out as a floater, not that it's overly helpful, but IZES or IZED words could have been played. I do like Reek a lot. Yeah, that would have been my play, but I was running low on time and I rushed it a little bit. Eek there, and then opponent's close here apart from the X, and he's got the anti-prefix as well. I wonder about betaxing. I don't know if that's a thing or not. Anyway, taxi for 47, look at that. So now opponent's within striking range, 1 bingo and he's pretty much sealed the deal. But Armoya for 34. Wow. 2i. Armoya. Beautiful. That is, that is stunning. I like that. Look at the way it just perfectly underlaps thud. Armoya. Yeah. Anyway, that was a miss. Moira was also available. I should have spotted that because it's a word I'm familiar with. Tour comes down and then opponent is not bingoing with this rack on this board. Goes with UH, and now I'm looking at opponent's remaining tiles. I can see there's no bingo, but I'm also looking at the time and thinking, I just want to get a score. Alu for 22. There was a 23-point play. F1 Rail, O-R-A-L-E. and it wouldn't have given opponent anything fantastic with his Q. Yeah, so rail looks fine. IRU, because I can probably go out with IRU. Maybe not, actually. So Alu's still good. Because I had Dyer, if that's good. Opponent goes with Bond for a cheeky little setup of QIS, but he's given me Rider to go out, and Dyer was fine. Yeah, top right. So that was the end of the game. Yeah, there was some interesting words there. Armoire, I would have liked to have spotted that. I do know the word. And yeah, hope you enjoyed watching that game. And I will see you next time.